MTG Joe here. Today we are continuing our exploration of Historic ahead of the qualifier weekend. We are trying out decks to see what is the best shell for a new god that dropped, Ketramose, the New Dawn, 3 mana, 4/4, Menace, Lifelink, Indestructible. If there's 7 or more cards in exile, it can attack and block. And then whenever 1 or more cards are put into the exile zone from your graveyard or the battlefield during your turn, you draw a card and lose a life. So it's kind of a mid-range shell. We've played a Esper big reanimator cheating out Ulamog. We've played out Esper kind of mid-rangey version with Unearth, Oculus, and now we're going to be trying an updated version. We played this before Aether Drift dropped. So we have the Sorin, Saint Elenda, Vein Ripper package, and then we have the Overlord to kind of mill us into the stuff. There's different blank cards. There's kind of a modern deck with this, but you're playing like Aether Vial, Flicker Wisp, Solitude. We don't have those cards in the format. But the Balemark can find you Witch Enchanters or Bogart Trawlers, which is nice. You obviously have your Sorin lines, Fragment Reality, Fatal Push is cheap removal, Thoughtseize for Hand Hate. Ghost Vacuum, on your turn, you basically just tap Ghost Vacuum, draw an extra card with Ketramose out. So it's kind of a value engine. Very similar, Viconia lets us do that as well. And then it has the ability Specialize. So you can discard a card from your hand, and then it transforms based on that color. So if it's a land, if it's a basic type, so Godless Shrine or Swamp, it can flip. And then if we look at its modes, you get to conjure a duplicate of that card and cast it for any mana. But what's actually cool is with the black-white version, if it's 3 or less, you get to cast those cards for free, for creature-wise. So you kind of have that. And then another card I wanted to try was Emperor of Bones. Gives us an alternative way to cast Vein Ripper and Saint Elenda. So that was something I was kind of taking a look at, seeing how it plays out here. Deafening Silence for anything with like Storm, playing a lot of non-creature spells in a row. Surgical for graveyard combo decks. Stone of Erich for any deck that's playing kind of smaller sacrifice style synergies, things that die. Could also incidentally be Graveyard Hate. Flute for like mono green devotion, anything that's like activated abilities that you really want to hit. Portable Holes, cheap removal, Vanishing Verse. So we have 2 Disruptor Flutes here. And then we have Toxic Deluge as a sweeper. I was thinking Kaya, but I saw in a list, and I'm going to spend a Mythic Wildcard on it, because this card takes me back. It's also a vampire. So Blood Baron of Viscopa. 5 mana, 4/4. Lifelink, protection from white, protection from black. So notably, your like Aura's decks can't deal anything in terms of removal. The black-based mirrors, stuff like that, it gets pseudo unblockable. If you have 30 or more life, you get to make it a 10/10 flying, and then it has lifelink on its own. I was thinking of this as a sideboard card. It might be worthwhile even just as a main board card, since we have things like Balemark and stuff like that. But let's start with it in the side, see how that plays out, and then kind of go from there. I remember when I first started playing Modern, I was playing Birthing Pod, and I was short a card, so I just played a copy of that card in my Birthing Pod deck, and I played against Mono White Hate Bears, and my opponent couldn't do anything against it. It was just so salty. But makes it happy. So we are 5-1 with the Esper versions so far, which is a really nice start. But let's jump in and see how the black-white version plays relative to the others. For this version, we do have creature mid-range plan. We have a lot of good disruption, and then we also have the ability to just turn 3 pseudo win the game, where a lot of decks can't deal with a resolved Elenda in play. We got rid of like Skyclave Apparition in this version here, playing a little bit more to the board. Play first. I mean, I think this is a mulligan just because the mana base is going to hurt you. You don't really have a play and 3 cards are dead, so this hand's better. Another new card that we're trying out in the deck is the Verge. We want to see how consistent it is. It turns on black first, which is better for this deck, but something to kind of keep in mind. So this can be another Oculus file, so it's Affinity. Okay, so another Peddler there is actually great because it lets me curve Ketramose into second Peddler. And here, I'm just going to take the Emery. They can keep all these Baubles. Bauble's a new card that these Affinity decks get. Just having cheap removal in the deck is very strong. But Emery's kind of going to let them do their loops and stuff like that. Fragment Reality can also hit their lines, which is a very strong line there. Let's go this. One might want to loot here. I mean, them getting rid of that's actually kind of good because this set sometimes can be a little bit of an issue. We're still a little bit away in terms of hitting our mark, but I do have this. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in terms of affinity. I mean, if they have double Bauble in their opener, I mean, they might just have it. They have it good on them. 3 Baubles in the top 11. I think we do that. Since the other 2 cards we know are lands, just how this card runs, we're going to take that. So we sequenced it that way there just to kind of shred their hand. That's a really good card to get draw as your last one. I mean, we're approaching just hardcast Elenda territory. Yeah. I mean, the only way they kill it, they drew 3 Baubles, which is very unlikely in 11 cards. Otherwise, we would have drawn at least 1 more card, potentially 2 there. Yeah, so they're opting for card selection here. Let's go bottom, bottom. Interesting. I think that you keep the Ornithopter here. It's got a lot of utility. I guess you could dig just trying to find like a card draw effect. We do have to be mindful. They could have Metallic Rebukes. Churning their tires here, trying to find a payoff effect. Come on. Now we're never going to find the Lion Watch. And the thing is, 4 of my lines are tap lines. Untapped land is good. Sorin is good. Baelmerk is good. Okay, this is good, though, that they're binning these. Gives me a higher likelihood that I'm going to resolve. They did keep one on top, though. A good one to keep on top. This is where Affinity kind of goes off when they're drawing multiples. Kappa Cannoneer is probably the only card that can truly outpace us. Iconia. Could have Iconia become Ketramose. So, how are we doing this? I can discard that. Like, Elenda's just really strong. How many cards in exile? 2. Think we do that. Watch, I'm gonna draw Sorin this turn. I mean, Sorin's not the end of the world because we still get Vein Ripper. This just lets me start drawing cards at least, and they're gonna have a hard time dealing with this. This also means Retrofitter can't deal with it. What do you do? That's an annoying one. Alright, hard cast Vein Ripper. What's your crew cost? Crew 2. We'll hold up here. They can kind of set up there. I mean, this is a very anemic kind of approach when we're hard casting our big threats. Jeez. Just like top deck here. So they should sack the Thought Monitor because they get it back with the Blood Fountain. Oh, of course. We draw it afterwards. We're holding this, I think, at this point. It just doesn't do enough without another threat. Frustrating. Back-to-back junkers. We had our draw engine going. We were pretty set up. Witch Enchanter's good, Bogart Trawler's good. Velia can be reasonable. Obviously we have 4 more here. What about a land? That's frustrating. That is frustrating. So much of our deck is still just live draws and we're just not getting it. Obviously we took a little bit of a chance there. I still think it's a reasonable approach. Here they can Ornithopter it into a 4/4. Just have to crew here. Or a block. Frustrating game. Matchup should be fine. Okay, give me something good. Give me something good. Witch Enchanter's not bad. Mind you, at this point, I'm dead at this point. The problem is they're gonna they have enough avenues to attack. 4/4, 5/3. I can only block 1. So in this matchup here, Portable Hole's pretty reasonable. Deafening Silence can be. Toxic Deluge, probably not. Surgical, I don't think we need. Disruptor Flute, I don't think. And then Viscopa could be interesting. Let's play that. They'll probably bring in like more graveyard-centric stuff. Thoughtseize can be fine. Actually, don't think we want Deafening. So the problem is with Emperor of Bones, they've drawn the Bauble, so it's not as strong there. Fatal Push probably be trimmed. I think we do it like that. Verse could hit Emery, could hit some other bigger stuff, could hit Kappa. I mean, we got a little. We had. They had triple Bauble, which I'm not gonna hold too much to that. Like that's just a very. Why did they give me mismatch? A very unusual start, I would say, in terms of hitting stuff. Probably trim the Emperor. Go that way there. They had triple Bauble into running Junkers. Here, I'm gonna take Retrofitter. And then I will take probably Emery. And we could try to just go for Sorin. They go Emery, I have Bogart Trawler next turn. I can hit that. I could hit Emery, they don't really have plays, so maybe... Their hand's pretty bad now. Like Thoughtcast without any of the lands isn't gonna do much. They can't really afford to block there. Sorin. Then we do the combo. Counterspell. Last card. You don't have the counterspell. Come on. So lucky. We do have an interesting line here if we go Bogart or just Silent Clearing. Crypt does make these cheaper. Second Peddler is good. Let me see what their hand is first, and then I'll decide how we want to play this out. This is probably just going to be a tap blind. They get Junker. I mean, are they inclined to cast Junker? I still think we do Thoughtcast. They might feel compelled to just Junker one of these. Yeah. Like, this is one of those games where it's like you look at it and you're just like, okay, they got me. So we'll do this. They could junker, but they have to sack. It'll buy me some time. I have the ability to throw a double block onto Peddler. Then this comes up next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 3 mana. So they can go Juggernaut into that as well. That's an interesting line. Big 6. Because now they, I guess they can. They sack. Okay, give me a land. Give me a land. Untap land. Untap land 1 time. Untap land 1 time. Hello. I would love to destroy that artifact of yours. We've hardcast more big vampires than anything. Still don't think we want Fatal Push, but since they're on the Tormod's Crypt line, we probably take that out. And then... So, like, what's the thought with Emery? Probably just play Deafening Silence. Probably better than Viconia. We just want to slow them down. Alright. Let's not just top deck the perfect card after you get double Mind Rotted. Alright, I think we keep this. So the interesting... Oh. Ooh. Ooh. We Thoughtseize next turn. Thoughtseize, try to get the counter out of their hand. That's why you always bring a second. We're taking a lot of damage. So this is a Thought Cast turn. And that's a nice one to draw. But have you considered turn 3 Sorin? Let's... I'm gonna go for the Destroy here. Since this is a flyer, I can get rid of it with the Ghost Vacuum. So if they want to target it, we get that value, and then Sorin can start trucking away. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. More achievements unlocked. Hey, good game. Were you just my opponent, Alessandra? I think we both, game 1 and a bit of game 2, you were drawing really well, and then I just had the Thoughtseize hand. You going the triple bobble? I'm like, there's no way you have triple bobble. Alright, let's try out some more. Oh, thanks for the games. The Junker is nasty. That card does work. My deck was a little clunky at time. I hard cast more vampires than I actually Sorined out, which is not what the deck's trying to do. Well, the game will be on a video for a future day. If you're interested in seeing the perspective. I'm gonna close my blinds, but this hand is a straight keep. Discard, discard, Soaring is where we want to be. How about you show me your secrets? Oh no, Mill. We're trying out different decks right now to see what we want. So I want to play Ketramose deck, but this is the third version we've played. We've played Eater of Bones Ulamog version. Nada, you played well. Like I said, the game was very much Blue Blank's first kind of thing. I was just trying to limit the amount you could chain cards together. Fraying Sanity can go away. Fraying Sanity just doubles the amount of mill that happens. So they'll go Ashiok here. Are they? No, they're blue-black. So they're probably on crabs. I should have a hard time dealing with a Ripper.
I've already read your thoughts. You won't stop us.
I mean, the deck's very... Like, you got a lot of elements if you're used to playing Affinity there. I think it's a reasonable choice to take to the event. Any deck that could... Like, I was playing mono blue in Best of One. It's very powerful. Are you playing Cameo in yours, Alessandra? Cameo's very strong against, like, energy and stuff. Okay, so we're at 40 cards.
We can improve upon your
Graveyard check. 1 Emperor Bones. You can go away. Let's start there.
I bestow a mighty curse.
So you go face, you go here. 36. I think we're fine doing this. Just because I get back Emperor of Bones here, and then it lets me haste out another threat. So even if they have a sweeper here, I get them that way there. They're also limited on how much they can attack me here. I don't think they can mill me 32 with only 3 lines. My deck's like, coincidentally... Yeah, the Junker seems very, very strong there. Okay, so what the hell are we playing against? We want portable holes. Probably not. Surgicals can be good. Viscopa can be good. Naming Jace can be good. So I usually overboard in these matchups just to give us like an extra turn or two. So just thinking of like cards that are playable. I don't think they're multi-spelling, so I think it's fine. So let's just play it like this. 6 more cards is like gain 3 life. Because Tasha's, like, if it hits one of our big things, the Overlord might be a little iffy, but we still, I think, want the Fatal Push in. It could be right to bring in Portable Hold, just a hitting Crab could be very reasonable. We do want to prioritize hands with a little bit more in terms of lands. Disruption and Pressure is also good in this matchup, where you want to have something on the board at least. The longer you just kind of, you know, pass turn, it does worse for you. We are doing well today. 6-1 with all our decks. Let's try this. Because if they go Crab on 1, I have the answer with Fatal Push. You've played right into my hand. Fragment can hit other things, so I think we do that. Just take the crabs. Oh yeah! Archmage Charm, Treasure Cruise, 2 Jace, 2 Fraying Sanities, Drown in the Lock, Glimpse, Mesmeric Orb, Spell Pierce. Easy game. Okay, we do have to be mindful of the Field of Ruin because I only play 1 basic. I might have to Disruptor Flute this Field of Ruin. Okay, so I'm going to do this because I know that they have Fatal Push up. So they're going to Fatal Push my Felia. And then I can get it back. Hey Ruben, how's it going? Okay, so I know that they have Fatal Push. They should have probably Field of Ruined and then done that. I'm gonna get Felia here. Yeah, Fragment just deals with their enchantment, which is nice. This lets me blink this, which I'm interested in. Oh no, I didn't need... Oh, that was dumb. That was dumb. In my head, I was playing something else. This is Flash. We should have flashed it in on their turn. I'll fragment this. I mean, they have Drown in the Lock anyways, so better to do this now. Eater of Bones, Viconia. How about we do this? Just pure value. I'm gonna do this on Jace. On their turn. I want him to spend the effort of casting Jace, and then I'll flute it so they can't use it. Same with Ashiok. And then we basically just lock him out of the game that way there. Okay, so a whole lot of Sorentron going on. What's its name? Jace Perfected Mind, I think. They have Treasure Cruise, so exiling their graveyard's good. They can't Jace on their turn, so it's fine. Didn't hit anything yet, which is kind of annoying. What do you got in your hand, opponent? Show me your secrets. Just a land. So it actually just showed up this week, the Soren video from the last one, kind of going. Where is Jace? So versions of this deck are now starting to pop up when I did the most recent, but there's always been kind of versions. There's like an Abzan version as well that's using the Eater of Bones combo. We've milled like a third of our deck, and here, let's just play Ashiok. We would have named Ashiok and kind of got him. We locked them out of like all their key pieces, which is fun. All right, the trick for Mill. Surgical the surgical their crabs, name their 2 planeswalkers, and then they're just hoping for the best. Alrighty. We go 3-0 with this one. Let's see what we can pull off. We've been climbing. I mean, you love to... Oh, where'd you go? Nope. Alright. Clearly every window other than the one I intended. 2-0, 3-0, 2-1. First. I think this is fine. Combo here. Probably discard, more valuable. Kind of annoying we didn't find a piece there. I mean, our Blood Baron tech's going to be good in this matchup. I've made it 3 or 4 times. I did it with Historic Goblins. I did it with Rakdos Midrange with Croxa. I think I did it twice with Goblin. Oh no, I did it with Embercleave Mono Red from Eldraine. Let's see who hits who. Containment Priest. That's illegal. Do I care about that? Probably not. This Witch Enchanter is kind of annoying. Overlord's also good. Could take them off a land. But they just get it back. I mean, that's the best. The best I did was 3 wins on day 2. It is a bit difficult. Like, you have to run really hot. Might have been right to still take Containment Priest, but they get it back with the Overlord. Hey, that one's good. Gonna get rid of Witch Enchanter here. Yeah, I'll take a look after this, Ninja. I just want to finish this. This is the last of this set. So we took him off the land. This could find another land. I also have Juggernaut Peddler for next turn, but I just want to kind of... They're almost a little bit more hate bears. See what they opt to find. I'd have to be mindful. This can give flying eventually. Felia's also annoying. But I think I have to do this. Felia's a couple turns away. And I'm just... Hey, that's a good one. Can just do this. Get Sorin plussed. Take Felia. Opponent's playing Hate Bears and giving me the this sleep. Here, this way, if they go that, at least then I still have Sorin. I can minus. This comes back this turn. I can't Fatal Push it. Alright. You've had first, you've had second, but have you had third, Sorin? We're at a quarter of our deck, no Vampire. Overlord will be good to help dig. Taking their land was good. Have we hit 3 Thoughtseizes? Yeah, we've triple Thoughtseize them. I mean, they did get some value there as well. This could let them kill. They could go Containment Priest here, which would be pretty bad. But it would be heads up information. They just go Felia. They shock here. They kill that, so I do need to hold off. Finally. They have the option to multi-block. They don't, but I have Sorin.
Defeating you will not bring me pleasure, nor pain. Join my crusade.
Relia comes down, gains him a life. Fatal Push currently doesn't target any of my stuff. They get the rebound, so they could go Recruiter here. This Blinks gets them another piece of value. The Felia gets them another piece of value. Go Containment Priest. Skyclave Apparition doesn't do anything. They could go Witch Enchanter to hit my Overlord or my Juggernaut Peddler, which also works. So there's some lines there. They go Eater of Bones, which can get Witch Enchanter. Does this exile itself? That's a good question. They can Felia their Containment Priest, but at this point I don't really think it matters too much. Like, they can Felia blink my Vein Ripper, but again, that doesn't do too much. They have to take 2 damage here. They have to sack a creature. They kill Sorin, that doesn't do too much. That's 8 coming into me. 10. They can kill my Juggernaut Peddler if they'd like. This will go into exile, that's card 5, but then 4. Peddler doesn't do much here. Oh, Containment Priest sees it. That actually works out pretty nice. That worked out pretty nice for them. I think I'm dead now. The Guide to Souls line worked. That's annoying. Okay, so Portable Hole's very good here. Toxic Deluge verse that. Probably don't want the Thoughtseize. Viconia can be good. We'll fight over Emperor of Bones. We have options there. We have the Deluge line. They can eat away at my graveyard. They might have Rest in Peace. But I think that's fine. But probably not, because they're an Overlord deck as well. 3 cards to cut. They do have Containment Priest, and they could have Graveyard Hate, so I think Emperor of Bones comes out. And they could have Needle. Viconia's probably the worst. Try this out. That was a close one. Grief's not legal in Historic. None of the overlords are. Sounds a little bit more reactive than I'd like, but hopefully they don't have Peddler. No worries. But yes, if they were legal, I'd be playing at least Solitude. Okay, Sorin goes away. I think we just want to keep our life total at a reasonable pace here. This is the kind of downside with that hand. They come out with double Peddler open. No, this month's Historic. I mean, they do still have to beat Juggernaut Peddlers. We go Bailmerk. Try to find something, but they could have Witch Enchanter. So I kind of want them to bait out, like I want to bait out the first Witch Enchanter with this Juggernaut Peddler. They could have Containment Priest. Blend. Yeah, you know, if this was Historic, we'd just be doing all this on turn 1, or Timeless. This is all turn 1 plays. Fatal Push. They have 2 Fatal Pushes. No. I mean, their whole turn just being that little use of their mana bodes well for us. I might want to tweak to have some Prismatic. It's an interesting line because they have to take the Toxic Deluge here. The Prismatic making push a little bit more consistent probably is worth it. It takes us off some of the other lands. It could be play. I mean, these are just big and dumb. They could have Ephemerate. Yeah, just keep on pushing these. I mean, they're gonna have 2 anyways. So let's get rid of the Vigilance blocker here. Yeah, they have Ephemerate. They just had the answer every step. It's very good, like, the fact they opened up with 2 of these plus the Ephemerate. And then they'll have the Ephemerate for the Witch Enchanter again. I guess the... we just do this. It's mana efficient. They're gonna kill it this turn, but it takes away an attacker. I just need this Vein Ripper. Give me an untapped land. Untapped land. What about your biggest, dumbest creature? All right. We have to do this. Just second Ephemerate? Come on! Opponent's playing, like, is just so hot with their draws, because now nothing... Yeah, of course. Come on. And I'm at 2, so I can't even get the block. That's nonsense. That one's so freaking frustrating. Alright. Let's do one more at this one. I think our hand was fine, like... It's just when they drew nothing but perfection. They drew 2 Ephemerates, 2 Peddlers, 2 Witch Enchanters, 4 my Peddlers. So they just blocked all my removal. And then if our hand just is the other way and we draw that land for the Vein Ripper, I win the game that way. So that's one of those games where you look back and you're like, okay. They drew very, very well. We drew very unlucky. Go to my Untapped. Just look at the last game there and you can take their deck list. Yeah, we can try something like that. I like the Sorin Alenda package. I think their deck can be a little small ball at times. Like they drew their double discard turn 2, 3, and then they had the Ephemerate and the ways to kind of beat it up that way there. Okay, we're playing 24 Mythic. See what they're on. I think we keep this. Ooh. Where are my fatal pushes? Give me Alenda. Give me land and Alenda. Step 1. Land. Slows him down a bit. Give me my... Give me my vampire. Give me my vampire. One time. One time vampire. One time vampire. Probably Felia, fake like we have something. Now they're gonna pop off. Okay, we're still okay. Give me a vampire. Give me a vampire. Give me Vein Ripper. Give me Elenda. Elenda is what I prefer. Have something. They could crack the land. Obviously a bit awkward when we just didn't hit our vampire, but... I have a play here. You have Overlord. This gives me some information on their hand at least. I mean, that's fine. Like, Felia's dead. But I can Overlord back Juggernaut. I am at 8. But at this point, I'm basically dead to any spell. Let's just see. How many cards are in exile? 4. I guess I could have got Ketramose, but it's probably too slow. Exile here. Had it anyways, so it didn't even matter. Yeah, that was very clunky. We needed to hit it 1 turn earlier. But let's bring in all the removal. Blood Baron. Deafening Silence is actually interesting. Elia's fine. Viconia's fine. I don't think we want Thoughtseize. We have the big stuff that helps us find it. Viconia's probably better than Felia. Maybe. I guess if we're bringing in the sweepers, they get worse. This at least lets us reblink stuff. Lets me play on their turn if needed. So I can hold up stuff. Viconia will have access. Viconia is probably better. Deafening Silence slows them down a bit in terms of the multi-spell turns, but probably not worth it. Let's go like that. I mean, that's a... the Wizards deck can be very explosive. Obviously, like, times it's a little awkward, but you could just run them down. Okay. This hand's good. We just killed all their early threats. Yeah, I wanted to try Felia a little bit more. The doll makers, it's the difference between like being able to attack versus the ETB. It also blinks their blockers or resets their tokens, which could be okay in some matchups. I was actually trying out the Eater of Bones, Emperor of Bones in its place. I don't think we're at the point where we're cycling yet. We do have to watch out because they do have Flame of Anor. Okay, so they missed line drop, which is good. But I think this turn we do this. Because I can just cycle this. Like, we're killing everything. That's fine. I like these lines. In a pinch, just draws us some more value. I mean, honestly, it's just Ketramose this turn. Because next turn I could play Viconia, hold up the Graveyard Hate, I can portable hold this and draw a card. So Soul Scar is annoying because it can shrink it. So we'll start off with doing that. They do have Surgical. A little annoying. Obviously, they hit our second Fatal Push, but I think we're okay. They do take 2 damage here, and this should trigger Ketramose, so it gets me a card draw, so then I can keep this for their turn, for their graveyard. I think we... Surgical, they're Surgical. Just because it gives them fewer kind of hits. So they did leave the Fatal Push in the graveyard mistakenly. Little Overlord here. Take Peddler, see their hand. I think we just take Sorin. Oh yeah, I love Historic. Historic's my favorite format. So I can bring in Surgical to Surgical their Surgical stuff, which isn't terrible. We can kind of play that game. But I think we're fine with that. They do have Needle, but I have Fragment and Portable Holes, which should be enough. There is the question, do we just trim on one and bring in Felia just as a blocker, maybe? I mean, if we get out a Lenda, they lose the game. I gotta read Ketramose. Is it your graveyard or just a graveyard? Because I thought it was just a grave. Oh, I guess, yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. They kind of get you that way there. Probably fine. Mana base is a little painful, but I think it's just more having a lifelinker there that's available. If they Flame of Anor, they Flame of Anor, but it's an easier to cast card on curve. That's kind of my thought on it. Red Horde. I think we're just doing this turn. See how explosive of a turn they have. We do go kind of shields down, but the way they've been playing makes it seem like they have Spell Pierce. So I want to be able to hold up Vanishing Verse with 2 mana. What did we mill over? Another Overlord. Fine. They can take this other Overlord from my hand. That does put cards into exile, which is good. This way they need like double Spell Pierce. No, it's just an alternative, but it's still a creature. It's a creature on the stack. Thank you. Up to 3, up to 4. Belly has been pretty much strictly better in my decks as I don't lean as hard on the blink value for creatures. Snapcaster, Ribbled. I mean, this makes their chorus worse. They have Snapcaster, which I don't think I care. I'm gonna do this now. I mean, they can double Ottawara as their last card. Are you kidding me? Ah, that's a crazy last card. I mean, we're still okay. So Ribbled here, that kills that. I think we're probably just silent clearing. Find a removal spell here. Sorin works. Fatal Push is great. Do it on their turn. Third of our deck, no Sorin. I could play around. Because like they just have Ribbled, which isn't that good. Then could be a little bit of an issue, but I have Overlord coming down. And I also have Witch Enchanter. That's true. Should have done it now, yeah. Mind you, they don't kill anything, so they would have just drawn the cards. Just gonna keep drawing cards here. This should help us next turn, because they could have Flame of Anor for my Overlord. I think we want another Ghost Vacuum style effect. Since we have the Witch Enchanter already queued up. We're just doing this. We could have Flame of Anor. No. I mean, they could be hoping for a Wizard in Flame of Anor. Pretty big, like, tempo swing. I feel like you play this anyways. Drawing a second copy of this makes them maybe feel like they can drop that this turn. Third of our deck through. I do think we want another Exile style effect. Ribald. Snap Ribald. Not just him. Isn't the green crime too slow? I guess like against some of the other decks, like what's it doing? So not quite enough to turn on Ketramose. There we go. It's your friend, it's mine. Play around Spell Pierce.
I guess you'll do.
Show me your secrets. Reckless Charge. Probably fine. Get rid of that. They can Reckless Charge this, but we have so many blockers, I don't care. And this should be enough to kind of close out the game. Yeah, but the thing is, if we didn't sack, we wouldn't have dug as deep in the deck. And I think we needed to try to find more interaction. Like, we were more likely to find a Sorin, I think, than going the hardcast route. We're done here? Alright, took down number 24. I still really like this deck. It's a little clunky at times, but I think we just need... It might be just going back to Dollmaker. I just don't love Felia. Question is, like, do we go another Dollmaker? Like, do we play Dollmakers? Emperor of Bones is fine, but the thing is, most of the time you're probably picking these up anyways. So I think I go 2 Ghost Vacuums. I think Ketramose is a 2 of in this list is fine. 3 is a little iffy. And I think we go Dollmaker instead. Just getting the immediate value is probably better. Felia's a more proactive play. So maybe let's do 2 and then 1 Felia. Kind of like that. Because we still have Bogart. We still have this. The other thing we were considering was fixing the mana base a little. Trimming. I could trim on a Witch Enchanter, but I do like the Witch Enchanters. I do like the Silent Clearings. We could go... I don't know how often I'm going to use this. I could trim on this, trim on like a Courtyard, or trim on Urborg. Like trim. No, I think we go back. So that's... Our changes. So we said... Cut the Emperor of Bones. Dollmaker. Play 2. And then... Or we could just play... Keep the Felias and keep play Nethergoyf main. Or we can move the Blood Baron main. So keep the Felias. Bring Blood Baron main or just Vanishing Verse main. Gives me another exile effect. Helps me a little bit more in the main board matchups. But I do want a permanent. The problems with Emperor of Bones, it requires you to have something in your graveyard already. And it's a little soft to removal. We're not doing the Ulamog thing where you just kind of win. And we don't have Frog to kind of set it up on curve. So you have to like have the Overlord and kind of go from there. It's just a little harder, I find, to hit off this one here. It does give us another line. Persist doesn't really work in our deck as much. Unearth doesn't really work as well. Parting Gust. White's hard on the mana, I think. Because we're more black. Because we have that as the vampire part. Because the thing that I don't like about Dollmaker is you can't really play it on 2, where Felia you can. So it doesn't let you be as proactive. I think we do that, and just play a second Ghost Vacuum. There's Relic of Progenitus, but you don't target, and this could just be a win condition on its own, which I like. I think we keep it like that. Blood Baron, I could see having some utility in matches. Toxic Deluge is fine. Disruptor Flute, we have the Verse, the Portable Holes, Silence. I think this is where I like it. We went 4-1 with this one here. In the end, we went 8-2 with the decks, which is pretty solid.